Hey Yesterland fans, and welcome back to another episode of The Toys That Made Sense. On today's episode, we're going over Valaverse's Action Force line, Series 3, the gorgeous ladies that just arrived. That's right, we're digging into them, and I just want to let you know I kind of cheated here. I actually purchased two of them previously. That was Pandora and Female Steel Brigade, and I already got them out of package. And the reason I did it this way was because I was going to do a side-by-side comparisons between the females of Action Force versus the classified G.I. Joe line females and see who was made better. Unfortunately, I didn't like the way the video that came out, so I ended up cutting that, and I didn't have the other two installments in the female Action Force line, Eclipse and Killswitch. So I got them still in package. I got the other two out, but when I see you on the other side, I'm going to have them all out, and we're going to dive in deep on these ladies and just explore the beautiful sculpts that we got with this wave. I'm excited, so you know what to do. Grab your favorite beverage and snack, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, guys, I've got them out of package in studio, so let's dive in deep. We got 4 characters to go over. I don't want to go too much into each one. There are several videos out there that have already been done on this. I will touch on a few things. There are some imperfections, unfortunately, in this wave, and I know there have been a lot of complaints and dislikes, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, it happens in, I'm sure, manufacturing. It just happens. Things go wrong. Things don't get molded right. Designs that you thought were flawless actually turn out post-production to be quite, bigger issues than you expected. So it happens. And we know, we've seen on some of these, guys and gals are posting on Instagram and Facebook and commenting and on all these different social media platforms that we're having ankle issues where some of the feet, especially on like Pandora, have snapped at the ankle and the boot, pegs snapping off at the wrist. I mean, anything can be possible. It could be overstress of individuals, not heating the toy up properly, the action figure properly with warm heat or warm water, and slowly working into the mobility of the figure and the action of the figure. It could be people just getting them straight out of the package and just applying a lot of pressure. We know these aren't standard toys. These are collectibles. And with that being a collectible, when I think and say collectible, I think you need to be delicate with it. And some people might say, well, that's cheap. That's just cheap product then. If you have to be delicate, it should be durable and rigid and all that. Well, this is plastic, guys. At the end of the day, we're dealing with plastic. So plastic can break. And if it's cold, and depending on where you're located at in the world, I mean, it could be several factors. But to ding the to ding the maker of this, I don't think you're doing him justice by doing that, because you know what makes him different, and you all know who I'm talking about. We're talking about Bobby here and his team at Valaverse. What Bobby does is, if this stuff breaks, all you have to do is send him an email, take a picture of it, and he's refunding either A, your money, or he's replacing the figure at no cost and paying the shipping back to you. So you're not going to get that from his competitor. And we know who I'm talking about. They're not going to do that. They're going to string you along, and they might give you store credit, or they might not even help you out there. So, there's imperfections in both of these categories when you get into special collecting figures. So let's get that out of the way right now. Now, yes, I'll throw some pictures up here when we get to it. I've noticed some flaws with Eclipse and a little bit with Killswitch, but you know, for me, it's not a deal breaker to where, oh, I'm out, I'm not collecting this line anymore. Again, like I said, Bobby will replace your action figures if things break on them. He's done it for me a couple times. I had a knife right out of the accessories pack. It was snapped. He reimbursed me. He sent me another one free of charge. I can't remember the other thing that I had break on me, but he replaced it free of charge. All you have to do is just reach out to him and say, hey man, this happened, send him proof, and he's going to take care of you. So we've talked almost 4 minutes on that, and I don't want to beat that like a dead horse. So let's move into it because we got a lot to go over here. Starting with Steel Brigade. I'm going to actually tell you right now, I think I like her better than the male Steel Brigade. I liked her sculpt. I like the way her chest piece is molded around her. It looks a lot better. Let's get into the articulation across the board though, on all these legs. As you can tell, we see a continuous pattern and design in the feet, the ankles, and all that. It's just different paint sculpts. Until we get to Killswitch, something's going on in her ankles, and we're going to talk about that. I don't know what it is, but her ankles ride high on the shoe and the boot, if you will. And it took me really having to force her down to get it to reset. And I was really scared that they could snap, but it didn't. But I heard them kind of pop for a second and get down on the peg. So I don't know if that was in the ankle or the peg going through the bottom of the boot, opening up a bigger hole, but it's set. Anyways, we can see the pattern and the sculpt and the design all the way up to the face. It's pretty much a, you know, give or take with maybe a little bit of, you know, maybe molding size, if you will. But for the most part, everything is structured around this female character's size here, from the boots to the hips, even up to the chest. It's just different in the molding of the chest pieces. Steel Brigade has the same chest piece as Eclipse does, as does Killswitch. Obviously, Pandora's is different, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But without further ado, let's dig in to female Steel Brigade. And as you can tell, we get a series of 6 extra hands, or 3 sets of hands, total of 6, plus the 2 on the wrist for all of the figurines. Now you will see Pandora and Steel Brigade are more accessorized here with their weapons, as I left off Killswitch and Eclipses because I want to show you the interchangeable head, and I'll do that as well for Killswitch, which is basically like a Riot Trooper's head in female form, and you know, that's what that is. So here we go. We get this extra head. We get the gold mouthpiece for the female Steel Brigade. I noticed on this one wasn't painted all the way through like on the male one where it's dark. You can see a little bit of the beige, or the flesh tone color in there. Don't know what's going on there with that, but again, it doesn't affect the figure anyway. We get the basic hands, open, close, fist, punch, moving those off to the side. And let's bring her in right now. Beautiful figurine, beautiful design. Look at that head on there. You can tell as we turn around here. Now, placement of weaponry, for the most part, for holsters, thigh holsters, and the knife are all the same on these figures. That comes down to an easy mold accessibility when you're making these figures. Now, I've heard people ding Bobby on this, like, dude, you're not changing stuff up. It doesn't look right. It just looks like you're repainting it. And why don't you give us new sculpts? Well, new sculpts cost a lot of money. New molds cost a lot of money. And there could be several factors that go into this. So I don't care that the molds are the same. As long as the paint's changing, I'm okay with it. So for me, that's the least of my worries. I'm still getting a beautiful action figure, and I'm getting what it needs to do. So that's Steel Brigade, guys. Mine are stiff because they have been out of package and I have not warmed them up. So I just did some basic, you know, posing and all that. But articulation, everybody knows how these things work. Butterfly joints, they bend over the butterfly T at the knees, the ankles, the wrist, and the head. I don't think we need to continuously bring that up in videos. If you know anything about Action Force or classifieds or action figures built like this, you know how they roll. So with that, we can take off the female head here, and we can pop on, whoa, look at that, without knocking anything over, and we can put on the gold head. of female Steel Brigade. Now, some people have said they've had this snap on them, and I haven't had that happen yet. I hope this doesn't happen now as I do it, but you can put on the female head. Whoops, she popped off there. It's pretty, that's a tight fit there. Well, let's double check. Let's make sure I didn't grab the wrong head and I didn't grab. No, that's the male head that I have there. This is the male Steel Brigade head, and for some reason this one's really, really tight. It's not going on. So, you know what? I'm not going to force that. That could be part of the flaw design here. So let's see if we can get her head back on with the regular head. There we go. We got her regular head back on. So have to sit there and kind of play with that. That's kind of a worrisome capability there. I don't know how that's gonna work, but if for me, it's not a deal breaker. All right, moving on to Pandora. Beautiful, gorgeous Pandora. Now, obviously, this is not the blood Pandora. I did not pick her up. I really just had no desire for it because it's just red paint on her. I don't need that in order to go with my set, but she is beautiful. Look at that beautiful face sculpt. Look at that. I mean, you can tell she is one tough chick. Got the tat on the back of the head there. It's gorgeous. We got the tats on the arms. Again, like I said, the placement and all that with all the accessories for the most part. Her chest piece is obviously different. She's got the cross holsters on the chest piece. We got the scarf around the head. Everybody knows how she's rolling. She's got the wrapped wrists here, and she's got her size. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sculpt on there. Now, getting into Killswitch, and this is where I'll pop up the picture here in a minute. We've got her head here, this extra head, which is in the wrap, the head wrap, the shot, whatever you want to call it. Look at that. Look at that beautiful sculpt. Look at those gorgeous eyes popping out at you. Everybody says she's the sleeper in the line. I can see why. I think she is a very cool looking character. She's a very gorgeous character. You get the scarf as well, and you get the extra set of hands. And then bringing her in, I think she actually looks more gorgeous this way, if you will, than with her Sean. I don't know. I haven't decided how we're going to pose her. Where we have issues with her, and here's where I'll throw up the pictures now, and I'll kind of do it for on the video. You can tell that left leg in the socket. Sorry, let me get this focused here better. She falls out of the socket real easy. And I'll put the still pictures up, and for purposes here, I'll show you as well. You can see in the crotch area where the connection goes across. This one seems to be a little bit more extended, if you will, where that one's more embedded. And I've really tried working with it without trying to break it. And, you know, her legs do, you know, drop a little bit there. I'm not going to lie. This looks kind of weird. You know, that's kind of a weird design, but you can fix it by pushing it back up into the socket, right? But that is going to wear out over time, and that is going to droop. And that kind of takes me back to the old days of the O-rings when they would drop, when they would start to rot. So that's kind of a flaw there with Killswitch, Eclipse. But overall, you get the nice two-tone on the weapon. We get the knife in the back, the placement of the pistol, which is standard. This looks like it's a 223, maybe 308, and we get the cross draw mags on the chest piece. Beautiful character. Let's see now, can we pop her head off, put that scarf on, and see how she works. Yeah, check that out. So that went on just fine. People are doing some great work with her posability, and she looks cool, man. She looks really, really cool. I think she looks awesome. Even with the mask on and all that, looks really good. Moving on to Killswitch here. Killswitch comes with an extra head. It's kind of like the Riot Trooper head as we get with those Riot Troopers, the guards. Oh, sorry. We get a sniper rifle here. Two-tone with an extra magazine. Get the crossover magazines. We get the pistol. It's in two-tone here. We get her weapon. I've got her kind of posed where like she's gonna insert the magazine. But moving up, she is a beautiful action figure, man. I really love what Bobby did with her face. I love that darker lipstick. I think that makes her look really sexy. She's got that short braided hair. Beautiful, beautiful action figure, beautiful sculpt. And I was kind of hesitant of her at first. I didn't know how she was going to come out and look, but now that I have her in hand, she is quite amazing. So, guys, this is the Female Action Force line Series 3, Wave 3, whatever you want to call it. Go out and pick them up right now. You're not going to get better action figures for your money, even though they have their flaws. Bobby knows it. He's addressing it. And he's trying to take care of all of us as fans. Be patient with them. Let them get the stuff out to you. Let them get it replaced. Guys, if you like this video, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Remember to follow us on all of our social media platforms. And as always, I'll see you in Yesterland.